Labas vakaras, atsiprašau, aš angliškai, but don't worry, my Lithuanian, not Lithuanian, my English is nausėda. Type of English, same accent. You know, I'm married to a Lithuanian guy and I inherited the accent through sucking dick. Anyway, today I want to talk about where I come from. I don't usually talk about where I come from because I'm scared of KGB. So, you know, I come from Belarus, and you know what else is from Belarus? Balionai su kontrabanda. So I have a couple of opinions about it. Firstly, if we learned anything from Stephen King, you don't go chasing balloons because chances are you're gonna meet a clown who's gonna drag you into the sewers and you're gonna die. What do you expect from a Belarusian balloon? You're gonna pop it and there's gonna be a Belarusian Pennywise like, do you wanna play with my potato? You know? That's how I imagine it. So I wouldn't open a Belarusian balloon, but I saw a video on Delphi. That's right, I read Delphi. That's one of the most unemployed things about me. I hit the jackpot of unemployment. I read Delphi. I have master's degree in gender studies. And I also do comedy. So the trifecta of unemployment. Take notes if you want to. So in any way, I saw a video on Delphi and there was a border police, Lithuanian border police, just cutting off balloons, cutting the box, and I'm like, what are you doing? There is not even any special force working with any kind of explosions. They're just opening it up, and I'm thinking the Lithuanian border police must have like steel balls, you know, balls of steel. They're not scared of anything, you know. They've dealt with the scariest things out there. They dealt with the people from the third world, the Iran. Racist. Anyway. I'm from Belarus, you know. You can take a girl out of Belarus. You cannot take the Belarus out of girl. Anyway, so they dealt with the scary things like immigrants and the bears, and the scariest of them all, the Belarusians, you know. If you think Belarusians are not scary, they're scary. I look in the mirror every day like, fucking hell, hey, kto nahuj scary. No, I don't... I don't want to look at that. So at this point, I'm watching the video, and I think on the job application, the Lithuanian border police needs to be bishki suicidal. You know, what's a small explosion in the face? They're not scared of anything. So, but you know, allegedly there was contraband cigarettes in those boxes, and you know, for my Lithuanian husband, any cigarette is a contraband because God forbid the mother is gonna find out. He's 30 years old after all. But I do think it's not about cigarettes. It's like a ruse, you know, to distract. I think Belarus is doing to NATO the same thing that we are doing when the summer starts and we come to the lake or the sea and we test the water, like the temperature. First we put our toe in, then the whole leg, just to estimate it. We should do the cannonball, you know. So and all this time Lithuania is looking at NATO and like saying like, do you see? Do you see what they're doing? And NATO is like, chillax, they're just flirting with you. You know how the boys are flirting with girls in school, like just because they like you. And it's not really a lie, because I remember when I was growing up in Belarus, we had books which had descriptions of all the nationalities and races, just because we all needed to learn how to spot a Jew. And there was always a description of Lithuanian people, and they were always described as like prosperous and successful people. And there is no lie, because the most success the Lithuanian people have is that you were born outside of Belarus. You know, game recognizes game. It's very, very respectful. And Lithuania was left all alone. So on the 29th of November last month, they decided to close the border with Belarus. And if you ask me how it makes me feel, I finally feel like my umbilical cord was cut and I can take my first independent breath, you know. It feels so good. And, you know, according to psychology, the next step in my development is killing my mother. But, you know, I just dream of this. Speaking of dreams, I had a little bit of sex with my husband. You know, we're married for a while. That's what we call sex. And it happened on Halloween because the horrors of having sex with a man in 2025. Pretty horrific. Pretty, what the fuck? Okay. So we had sex and it was unexpectedly very, very good. And I didn't expect such a turn of events. And I tell him, like, it was very good. And he's like, so what is the secret? We need to write it down. Did you finally figure out your ADHD and you were present in a moment? And I'm like, better. I was thinking of Lukashenko. You know? Because that's what any Lithuanian man would love to hear when his girl is having a really good time, you know, especially, you know, marrying a Belarusian. So I'm like, okay, do you want to hear the joke that I thought about during sex with my Lithuanian husband? Make some noise if you want, it's not a joke. Okay. Yes. Okay, so the joke went like this. That's what I'm thinking of during sex. If Lukashenko is like a villain in my origin stories and we live in Harry Potter world, he's kind of like a Voldemort. And he split his evil soul in 9 million Horcruxes, aka Belarusian citizens. So Lithuania possesses the power to destroy one of the Horcruxes by giving me a Lithuanian citizenship. So, okay, that was the joke. You know, yeah, Lithuania has the power to make the one who shall not be named weaker. And I think with all the seasonal depression and suicidal thoughts, I think I'm already dying for the cause, you know. Yeah, okay, this joke was much funnier in my head during sex. And I think I cracked the code to a female orgasm. I think you really need to really hold your laugh together so that not to burst in your husband's face. Anyway, thank you very much. That's all from me.